Hi, I'm Nick. Amy's behind the camera. We're shooting a short video for the upcoming Marin Art and Garden Center that opens March 13th. So I'm going to tour you through real quick the pieces I have in the show and then give you a couple quick shots of the studio itself. So you've got the newest piece, fresh off the press. This is Astro. He's metal. He's been forged, welded, and ground down to his current configuration with a patina, paint, oil, and wax finish. Moving from that, you've got Black Beauty. Black Beauty is a piece of oak. It's been carved from a single piece of wood. The longest I've ever spent on a piece, which was over 3 years. This was a piece of oak that started off about 12 to 1,500 pounds and currently weighs maybe 40. So again, it's oak and it's got an oil base paint finish on it. So over here you've got Catcher. This is another big, started off as another big piece of wood, which currently weighs about 40 pounds as well. This is Grand Fir. And I have to say, everything you're looking at is stuff that I've carved into this piece of wood, both with Black Beauty as well as Catcher here. All the textures, all the holes, those are all things that I've carved into the piece and then gone back and burned and burnished and scraped down the wood until I've got solid wood, but a very organic sense to the piece. So, coming over here, we've got Loopy, another metal piece, smaller in stature, again, forged, welded, and ground down to give you the finished piece.
And these are not carved from clay and then cast.
No, this is all working directly with the material, with the steel in this particular case. So I don't think I could ever work in clay. I don't have an affinity for that particular material. That I guess I'm a bit of a Luddite, that I have to work directly and bang on things and chop on things
And who's this?
So to get what I want. So this is Big Boy. Big Boy, again, another metal piece, treated in the same manner that the others were treated as far as forging, welding, and grinding. Big Boy was the first metal piece I felt I was willing to show. There's some others that I've kept, but they don't quite meet snuff. And then we've got one more metal piece here. This is Juggling Bug. He's next to the newest piece that I've finished. Again, forged, welded, and then ground down, patinaed, painted, and oiled and waxed. So, Juggling Bug's got, some little bit of movement to him. So then to our right is the biggest piece that's going to be in the show. This is Walker. Walker is carved from a single piece of wood as well. What you're looking at is an inverted crown of a tree, something that was about 30 feet up the tree, one of which I had to take down, and then carved into this configuration. And I've got one more piece, and this is Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is sort of my transition piece from working in wood, which, all the other pieces have been big single chunks of wood that I've carved back into. This was gluing up several pieces and then carving back into them. And it was sort of a segue into beginning to work with metal, because the metalworks are constructed as opposed to working in a reductive manner. And therefore they're like diametrically opposed. And it took me several years to get my head wrapped around being able to work that way. So this was the last of the wood pieces that I made that before jumping into steel. So we're going to take a quick tour through the studio. You know, I don't have anything fancy around here. I've got a nice collection of axes, which is that and a hammer are my primary tools for doing anything, and certainly my favorite tools, but I have a good collection of chisels, gouges, chainsaws, and I also do a lot of work these days with an angle grinder and carbide disc. And that's something that's kind of new to me. So now I'm going to take you to the other end of the studio, down to the metalworking end of things. So come on down. So here in the metalworking end of things, you know, you can see a few pieces in progress. There's a small metal piece that I'm in the middle of. It's a long way from being done, but you can see how things are, some things are forged, some things are just welded out and then ground back into. I'm using the cardboard that's clipped on there to help work out movements and shapes as I go. So, and then the way I'm manipulating the steel is, you know, a lot of good old-fashioned hammer work on an anvil, and you can see I've got a collection of hammers over here to work with. And if the material gets a little too big for me to work with, too heavy, to work cold, I've got a forge here, so I can heat my metal up until it's red hot, pull it out of there, and then put it in this old world pump here. This is a trip hammer, about 100 years old, and it replaces my hammer and anvil. Fully OSHA approved, and I think that probably does it for our little tour through. So thank you, enjoy the show, and give me some feedback. Okie doke, bye-bye.